domains over to Epic, a small domain registrar known for accepting the registration of websites that host far-right content.
So what about it?
BitChute has accommodated far-right groups and individuals and been criticized by the Southern Poverty Law Center for hosting hate-fueled material. This will never take off.
It won't?
No.
You don't think so?
No. This won't be a thing.
I disagree.
Okay.
YouTube is losing money at an alarming rate, man. They keep doing what they're doing, you know, and I know you don't want to go down this road.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about YouTube tonight, really.
I know,
We've talked about it a lot. They'll adapt and they'll change. Or maybe something new will come out, but I'm saying right now, BitChute is not going to be it. Yeah, maybe something new will happen, you know? Like, Vimeo's got a better chance right now, though, than...
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
We'll agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Huh?
Is it a public company?
I have no freaking...
Get on the mic, Jesse. The mic.
Oh, my bad. My bad, man. My bad. Oh, fuck. It started. Shit.
Oh, shit.
God damn. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm over here on Snapchat and shit.
Man, we need to get this live stream going, too. I need to look into that.
Yeah, dude. No, that's super easy. We'll talk about it after this.
Yeah, we will.
I got you. That's super easy.
We will. It's super easy.
Hello, super easy.
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies.
Super easy.
We're closing in on the month of June, heading into July, where July 4th will happen and fireworks will explode. You know what's frustrating, man? Belton had, the city we live in, they had their community days or whatever yesterday, and they're sitting there laying off fireworks, right?
Oh, is that what that... There were fireworks all day, or not all day, but all night, and I was like, why the fuck are there fireworks right now?
I was like, the tents aren't even up. So I was confused. I was like, where the fuck are you getting this shit?
Here's the deal, though. You know, what the fuck, man? When you drive through Belton and the amount of potholes that you hit, it's alarming how many potholes they have.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Well, right after winter, it was just god awful.
It doesn't matter, right? I mean,
yeah.
But the city we live in, they have a spending limit. Okay, or the amount of inflow that they have is $54 million per year. And that's growing, obviously, with taxes and shit like that going up and blah, 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 blah. But they have $54 million to spend each year on the infrastructure of the city itself. And they're going to waste, I'm going to guess, close to $10,000 to $15,000 on fireworks.
There's no way it was $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh, I guarantee you, bro. It was like a 15-minute show. You go to the fireworks stand and tell me how much they're spending. How much do you spend? Just to have a cool show in your own backyard, it costs a couple $100.
Life's too short not to have fucking fireworks given out to the public.
I agree. Kids need it. Kids love it. But at the same time, I hate driving my car over damn
Builds
potholes.
the community.
No,
gets
bullshit.
people together. No, it gets people together. It gets
That's
people
fine.
networking.
But you know how many of those people hate driving over those potholes each and every single day?
Well, they should fix the potholes and have the goddamn
and
fireworks
with
with
the same
54
time.
million.
That's what I'm saying.
But you need the fireworks too. Fireworks are not as important as the potholes.
One
but
clap.
Still important. It gets the community together. It gets them talking, because you don't want a bunch of people in a community that feel distance from each other because all of a sudden the camaraderie is gone. You need a camaraderie within a community to help build it, and everybody should know each other.
Agreed.
And that way everybody's got their back, and there's,
So, no, you're right. 100%. People getting together is the biggest thing that you can do.
Eating hot dogs and watching fireworks, 100%. Man. It's as American as it gets.
That's why I love 4th of July.
Yeah, dude, that's my third favorite holiday.
It's my first favorite.
It's my third favorite
That's my
holiday.
number one.
I was driving by where they had...
number 2 right after Arbor Day.
Where they had the event, and there was a lot of people there, and I'm all down for that. That's where it's at. But at the same time, the city needs to be taken care of. And someone's not doing that, and they need to be held accountable. And how do you hold them accountable? How do you hold city officials accountable? Go to the meetings they have every Tuesday, the city council meetings?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I have something called the TV, which occupies more of my time than going and sitting and talking to a bunch of people about shit that I don't know about.
So your TV is more important than the potholes then?
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah, but
if it's either potholes or TV, dude, I fucking take TV.
Imagine the wear and tear on your vehicle.
I'll buy a Jeep. I don't give a shit. I'll buy a Jeep. I'll get to work.
I mean, the other thing, though, is, Paul, it's not just where we live. Like, this happens everywhere. Every winter, fucking potholes like crazy.
Drive through Overland Park and tell me how many potholes you hit.
Yeah, but what are their taxes compared to ours?
I'm sure it's substantial, but you telling me with $54 million you can't make sure the roads are good? Dude, especially on Cedar Street, Y Highway, heading over to my house, the amount of potholes.
Dude, I mean, it's bad everywhere.
Can you see a budget on paper of where every dollar gets sent to?
Okay, yes. So whenever I paid my
because that should be very easily accessible to any person
should
who's
be
paying
public
taxes.
knowledge.
It's 100% public. So I was curious on where our personal property taxes go because this year, my wife and I paid right around $600. So I'm like, okay, and I asked the lady on the phone. I was like, I want to see.
Is that just cars?
Yeah,
basically.
Cars because with the FHA loan, that's included your personal property taxes within the FHA loan. So that's fine. I'm cool with that, which is it's like $1,200 a year just for the taxes on my house. And I like that there's an escrow for the FHA because you're paying that monthly. And I'd rather do that than pay once a year. But anyways, I asked the lady, I was like, so where? I was like, and granted, this isn't in the city of Belton. Our
county
or whoever collects the taxes for what you pay, in our county is in Harrison.
Is that Pamela Shipley? Cass County, Pamela Shipley, I believe.
I didn't specifically talk to her, but anyways, I was like, hey, so when I pay personal property taxes, where does my money go to? She's like, well, what city do you live in? And I told her, I was like, I live in Belton. She's like, well, they collect all the money. She's like, so when you pay personal property taxes, Belton gets, all of that money. I'm like, okay. So she referred me to how to download. You go to the website, Cass County or whatever, and you can download the website and see where they spend their money, how they spend their money, and all that jazz. But anyways, I actually had a city council friend that comes into where we work. And at one point in time, he showed me the amount of money that the city we live in, how much they have to spend each and every single year, their budget. And it's $54 million.
Yeah, but that doesn't show where it goes. I'd like to see how it's divided.
Is that covering people's salaries too? Like people's salaries have to come out of that?
Yeah, the city of Belton. I mean, $54
million.
So
$52 million is going into people's salary. Then you have $2 million left over for roads, schools.
And they blew a full 15,000 of it on fireworks.
Yeah, on fireworks.
I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, $54 million, fix the fucking roads, please. That's the very first thing you do.
Yeah, Belton's not that big. Belton, I feel like you...
Belton's not that big.
I feel like we're also...
But they're collecting $54 million each year.
And
you're telling me that's not...
No, I feel like that could be skewed, too.
That sounds like a lot to us.
You hear $54 million, and you think a shit ton of money. But when you think about an entire city with officials, construction work, like all this different stuff, the trash service, which I know we're paying for, and so on and so forth, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, I bet $54 million is not really that much.
But it has to be. I mean, you're talking about basic infrastructure. What else? Okay, minus paying your employees, right? And I don't know how many employees there are with the city of Belton. Let's go on the far end. I mean, you have the water department, you have the parks and rec, you have all that stuff. And look at Belton's parks, trash, complete trash. Like it's a joke to call it even a park. I've taken my daughter there. It's literally square footage, probably 1,000 square feet. The pool is laughable.
They've improved upon that park?
No, dude, whenever I was younger, that park was better than it is now. It was bigger, more open,
really?
More things to do. Yes, 100%. I mean, but short of paying your employees, what else? Roads, right? Working on water.
That's why I said I want to see a
lines.
budget. I want to see an actual
budget. There's probably some other variables.
Fire department, police department, yeah. And
so that's included into that.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Oh, well, fuck, man. That's got to absorb
police department
like
right there is...
I mean, on the short end, go $30 million, right? $30 million to pay everyone.
I mean, we don't know.
I'm just saying on the short end, let's go $30 million.
You got cars and like the fire trucks and maintenance and upkeep. I don't know, man. It's hard to. You can save $54 million is a lot of money. Someone's like $54 million. That's a shit ton of fucking money. It's a city, dude. A city has a lot that it takes to operate. Maybe 54 is high. Maybe it's actually low for our size of city. You'd have to compare it to other cities and shit.
But for roads to go unattended for months and months and months.
There's probably other priority. I'm just saying, you need to look at, instead of saying the city has $54 million, look at the actual allotment, the actual budget for what goes, or not, budget may be the wrong word. I don't know. The allotment for what goes where.
Just the percentage. If you're like, man, this 20% here is going here, could really probably be fucking dropped. And maybe the police department fucking needs more because it is Belton, and this isn't, there are parts of fucking Belton that are sketchy.
Okay, so whenever it's voting time and the police officers or the fire department, they want more money, they do another like penny tax. They'll do like a half-cent tax on the public, and that money goes directly to the police department or the fire department to pay for what they do. So maybe that's included. I don't know. You're right. We need to sit down and
actually look at the...
But all I'm trying to say is fix the roads, man. I mean, I think that's basic. I mean...
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, I don't care if we, instead of $54 million, we only get $12 a year for the city. All $12 of that needs to go to at least fixing like a third of one pothole.
Yes, please.
I fucking hate potholes.
Go to fucking Home Depot and dude, they did a piss poor job. Okay, on Cedar, and you guys took this road here, like the very first quarter mile that you're on Cedar.
Cedar's better than fucking North Scott.
Yeah, it's north. Yeah, but either way, they fixed. Maybe they filled 50% of the potholes, and they left the other 50% unattended to. And I get it; it rains a lot, but it hadn't rained that much the past month, so this was the perfect opportunity to clear this up. And it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. I have to drive differently because of these potholes.
I'm Missourian as fuck. I will always be a Missourian, Kansas Cityan, whatever the fuck you call that. And it's always, and I guarantee you, every Missourian that comes from small towns like this that crosses the border into Kansas immediately gets pissed off because you can literally see it at state line. The roads will be shit. You take back roads. You take back roads where you're right. It's like all fucking potholes, and all of a sudden it's Kansas now, beautifully paved. I mean, just see your fucking reflection in that shit. Kansas, when's the last time you saw a pothole in Kansas?
You don't.
Like, I think an alarm goes off whenever, like...
The northern parts of Kansas, of Overland Park and stuff like that, you'll see it.
Bro, they maintain that fucking shit. And
they do.
So it's... And I know the taxes are fucking higher, too, out in Kansas. To buy a fucking pack of cigarettes, like fucking $10.
No, actually, Missouri is more taxed than Kansas is, actually.
Just like overall living, or...
Just overall, yeah. Overall... Missouri's are more like you
really?
Yeah, it is.
That was never my assumption. I always thought it.
Hey, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on and on and on. What I think
was quite.
You need to segue.
Yeah.
I'm
tired of potholes.
Very relatable. We can.
So, kind of what we're going to talk about today, and it's going to be a little different. Everyone who listens, I think we had like 20 to 30 views our last video, but and anyone who's new to watching Talk Junkies. And if you made it this far, we're going to talk a little bit about finance. We're going to get into finance. We're going to talk about what Jesse and Johnny's knowledge is, because I know Jesse and Johnny have taken a lot of their time in the past like 4 or 5 months, maybe even longer, I don't know, to dedicating their time towards finance and building a financial future. And this isn't an advertisement, okay? This isn't us saying, hey, you're going to make millions of dollars. This is just their opinions on what has been going on in the financial world and what they're doing to set themselves up for success.
If I told somebody how to make $1 million, they'd be like, "Well, where's your $1 million?" I'd be like, "Well, I don't have it," and then I get laughed in my face. So I can't.
Exactly how it.
I haven't done it yet. I mean, I would like to be a millionaire at some point in time, but no, I think finance and it comes down to lifestyle and stuff is extremely important. And for some odd reason, high school and school in general doesn't fucking teach people.
Zero. I mean, they have finance class. They do have
those. No. I learned how to balance
those
a
are
checkbook.
Jokes. That's balance checkbook, and they teach you how to do it. They teach you how to fill out a check. They're
When's
like,
the last time you wrote a fucking check?
You write right here. You put the numbers right here. This is where you sign, and this is what you should put in the memo, depending on what you're paying for. Nobody gives a fuck.
No, they don't talk about actual spending. How to
they
become
don't
a
tell
millionaire.
you anything about a Roth IRA.
Yeah, no, they don't talk about accumulating interest. I keep saying that wrong.
Cumulative
fucking interest. They don't talk about any of that. They don't.
Okay, so let's start at the bare bones, right? So for anyone out there, and the middle class is large in the United States. It's fairly large, and for, like you said, no, you don't get taught about this at all. So you literally have to go out and search for yourself and learn on your own, right? And I think for what Jesse and Johnny are about to explain within this podcast is the fact that it takes time to build wealth. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to make $1 million
tomorrow. There is no
tomorrow.
get-rich-quick scheme, but there is a way that you can do things in your life that will set you up very nicely in the fucking future. But you got to put in the work now, and you don't see any of that reward right now. It takes a lot of fucking time for it to work. But
I mean, I was just gonna say the basic math stuff that we've learned is, which it's funny because it's so common sense and so basic math and whatnot, but nobody fucking does it. Is spend less than you make, and people on the other side of this camera right now are like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Obviously, I spend less than I make. I can't spend more than I make. That's a lie. You have a credit card, that's spending more than you make. You have a car payment, that's spending more than you make. If there's what is it? If you buy a $20,000 car." And you put $5,000 down and you take out a loan for $15,000. That means you can't afford the car. You can afford payments. You can afford fucking payments. That money you're not saving now. You're now paying for something that's depreciating in value instantly as soon as you drive it off the lot. And don't get me wrong, I love fucking nice cars.
This is gonna be hard for a lot of fucking people to hear.
Yeah, but no, honestly, there's a difference between when someone says like, "Oh, I can afford it," putting it on a credit card and then paying off that credit card with no interest, paying it off on time every month over the next 3 months. You're like, I want to get a new TV. I'm going to use my fucking Best Buy. And I'm guilty of this when I was younger, when I was like 19, 20. I'm going to use my Best Buy credit card that I got here with 0% interest for the first year or whatever and buy a fucking $1,200 TV and then just pay it off every month for 6 months or whatever. The thing is, if I had to pay it off over 6 months, that means that at the time I purchased it, I could not afford it, which means I wasn't following the basic fucking rule of spend less than what you make.
Which should be the basis of anybody who wants to be wealthy in the end. This is what every self-made millionaire has done, is they have lived off less of what they make. And in breaking it down to what a lot of people don't understand is, oh, because I can afford something and I still have something left over. No, you're paying more for something than what it's actually worth in the fucking end. But the biggest thing that literally cripples people, and I think our culture almost celebrates it. You see it from our intellectual institutions, and even, okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But we praise people going into debt. I mean, the most advertised thing in America is credit cards. You don't get in the mail shit for, I don't know. Like, you don't get like Taco Bell trying to get you to fucking. I mean, I guess you get like coupons and shit.
If you sign up for
the literal most advertised thing in America,
you're pre-approved for a Capital One credit card with a $3,000 credit limit. Congratulations! And it doesn't even have your name on it. Yeah. It's literally just like resident of this place.
Yeah, the most advertised thing in this nation is credit cards, and it's something that literally can ruin your fucking life. There is. I'm going to say that this is a good time to bring this up. There has been a study done on mentally what happens whenever you spend money that you have comparison to spending borrowed money from a credit card. I think it's close to 70%.
It's different for each type of transaction. I think the overall,
you are more likely, basically, on a mental level, and this is what it comes down to. Like, people get a credit card and they go, oh, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna beat out this credit card company because I'm gonna get fucking frequent flyer miles, and I'm gonna get, 3% cash back and all this on this credit card. And I'm gonna pay this credit card off every month, and I'm never gonna pay a cent of fucking interest on this credit card.
I used to be like that. I used to pay mine off every month thinking the same thing.
Do you see this institution that's like, oh man, these billionaires sitting back going, oh man, they beat us. They figured out the loophole in the system. All they got to do is fucking pay this off every month. No,
there's a few people that figure that out, and then there's a majority of the people who don't.
No, but even if you do, this is what it comes down to. They know that, and this is proven over time through studies, you spend differently using a credit card. You spend more than what you would normally do. If you have a $100 bill, you just worked an 8-hour day, and you have a $100 bill, which is awful. I hope you're doing better than that. Even though you can make do with that, but I hope you're doing better than that. You spend an 8-hour day, you have a $100 bill, and you're going to spend that shit differently than if you have a credit card with a $100 limit, because you're like, holy shit, I just worked 8 hours for this fucking $100. You spend that money differently. Whenever it's given to you from a credit card company, you think that, oh man, you're screwing them over. No, you're spending more than what you would have with that borrowed money. Verbatim. Your brain literally... There is a pain sensor. They did studies on this shit. They hooked people up. Spending cash from an 8-hour day's worth of work, spending it causes pain in the fucking brain because you had to work for it. Just running a credit card, nothing. Everything's locked because you don't care. You're like, oh, there's no consequence for this.
It's crazy
how
how
the brain is set up. If you think you're beating the credit card companies, go and look at their building that they're living in and the houses that the people who own them are living in and compare them to your house. I'm pretty sure they have everybody fucking beat. And you're just giving them money for money because you need some shit that you won't give a fuck about in a couple of years, probably.
They've honestly said, and obviously our work is different because we do get cash. You know what I mean? A lot of people just have, like, if you have direct deposit where it goes right into your bank account, they even say, even if you're like, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm not going to use a credit card. Like, I believe in them and what they're saying and what other people have said, and I'm not going to use a credit card. Honestly, you really shouldn't use debit either. Like, there's nothing wrong with it because there's no giant company there. I mean, there's the bank, but you're not like paying interest on it or anything like that. But you spend more out of your checking account than you would if you handed out cash. It's better to go to the ATM on your payday or whatever and pull out $400 and be like, $400 is my limit for everything this week, for food, for everything else. You pull out the physical $400, break it up into some 20s, however you want to do it, that doesn't matter. But the point is, when you use the card, you easily go over, you get the extra shit, you do all this little like tiny shit that adds up. That there was someone who said it, the fact that like nobody goes $10,000 in debt. I think it was like Dave Ramsey or whatever. It was like nobody goes $10,000 in debt instantly. You go $10,000 in debt over a year of tiny little fucking. I'm gonna go to the restaurant today.
I'm gonna go to Kohl's and get a new shirt.
Yeah, because I have a card.
I'm gonna use my Kohl's card, and I'm gonna use my Kohl's. But I'm not.
They gave me Kohl's cash. They gave me $15 in Kohl's cash.
Oh, dude,
so
I'm
now
getting off.
I'm gonna go spend $45 for the $60 shirt.
Look at all this money. Look at all this money I just saved.
Spent $45.
That's what it is.
Well, each and every single person is different, you know, and the way that you learn.
There's nothing wrong with purchasing something to enjoy it. I'm not saying that, but there's a.
I think that it's came down to a point where it comes down to education, and no one's really taught you anything. I mean, credit cards and the way that you guys are talking about it, unfortunately for the middle class, and if that's who we're reaching out to, really the only way to improve your life is through the credit card
that's
system.
a falsity.
It's not a falsity because
you don't need a credit score.
You do.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Unless you have a surplus of cash to go buy a house or a car.
You can.
I wish we weren't getting into credit score right now.
Oh my god!
I wish we could have pushed that
I can go
back.
off on a tangent on that later.
I just want to say this real quick because this doesn't get taught in high school that everybody needs to know. If you make, I think it's, and I'd have to pull up the numbers, but you have a very basic job. Let's say you make $30,000 a year, and you're in a position to where you can put 15% of your income away,
which isn't that much,
which is not that much, into a savings account that gives you an 8% return, something that literally just follows like the S&P 500 or something that literally just follows the trending of the stock market, which is extremely safe. This is just as safe as having cash in a bank account. Like literally having it in a savings account just as safe as having it in something like an S&P 500 ETF, SDRF.
I mean, those are going to be better than a bank account, but yeah.
They're better than a bank account, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. It's just as safe. But hold on.
Slow it down.
Slow down. You could have millions. Hold on. Millions of dollars by the time you're 45.
Can we slow it down real fast?
But nobody talks about that shit.
Can we slow it down? You just said a lot right there. You said a lot.
That was. I agree with
Paul.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Because we've talked about this a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
exactly.
it's easy.
So what I'm saying is, I was legitimately just saying you have to have credit in order to buy a house, and I'm talking about middle class people, right?
No.
For people, okay, hold on. You're saying no, and that's fine. But for someone like me, the first time I bought a house, I had to have credit. I didn't have money saved up. I wasn't prepared.
So then you don't buy a house.
Okay, but I'm not gonna.
You can't afford it. Okay. You don't buy it.
I have a kid on the way. I'm not gonna rent. I'm going to make an investment. And I'm going to take a loan from. I don't have $115,000 to buy a house.
So you rent an apartment for 6 years, and save up. You eat real shitty, and you save up fucking 50% of your income for 5 years.
Or I have good credit, and you play along with the system, and then I get a house because I have good credit, and now I have equity within my house.
The system is literally set up to put you in a spot to make the ultra rich to make the ultra rich in their keep them in their status, because it's just a money. It's literally they're just loaning you the ultra rich loaning you their money basically. That way they can get more money, and they sit back and fucking jerk off, finger their butthole, whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah,
I
agree with that.
We shouldn't and.
So okay. I'm going to do some real quick, really basic, easy to follow math for everyone.
Okay.
Super easy.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of job everybody's got out there. Everybody's got different stuff, different amounts of income, different troubles and whatnot. And it's hard because a lot of people got car payments and house payments because they've already made mistakes, myself included. We've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
We've all fucking made mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
You can fix it, but we've all made mistakes. So it's not like any kind of higher or holier than thou thing. Anyways, simple math. If you can put away $500, which really shouldn't be that much. It depends on your situation. But if you can put away $500 every month from age 30 to 70, you'll be a millionaire. Now think about that. That sounds like a long time. 30 to 70, you'll be a millionaire when you're 70. Like, I don't give a fuck when I'm 70. What the fuck am I going to do with $1 million? Well, you also won't be working anymore, so you'll need to have some money in the back. And anyways.
And also, what is $1 million going to be worth 30 years from now?
Yeah, who knows?
A lot.
Obviously, you should be
not as much as it's worth now.
Well,
obviously.
it's going to be more than $1 million.
No.
I'm saying if
you invest it, if you invest it. I'm just saying in general. Save up $500 in something, worthwhile investing. It's like 10%, whatever, blah, 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 if you put it in the S&P. But think about that. That's just $500. Now, what if you're starting this at 22 and you've got a good enough job where you can put in $800 a month, $900, so on and so forth. And then what if you're investing in this into higher things? You've finally got a savings. You've built up a savings account of $30,000 that's just a regular fucking savings account. And now you can take that $30,000 and put it into fucking mutual funds and stock ETFs and things like this that are gaining 12% a year. Fucking
okay, so
10,000. You have $10,000 in there.
Hold on.
You gain $1,200 at the end of the year.
So let's just break it down. Okay, saving money is one thing. We all know. We've all heard of saving money and putting money into our savings account.
Everybody's so bad at it, though.
Okay, and very true. So if we're all bad at it, and even if you do, and if you're good at it, right? And let's say some people are good at it, some people aren't so good at it, and then you don't have people who are good at it at all. And we're trying to before you go into S&Ps and the ETFs and all that, let's break it down at the bare minimum. Okay. So if you have a savings account and let's say you had 10 grand in that savings account, or even 1,000, you're gaining no interest, right? Maybe a penny.
You want the bare bones? Bare bones.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. This is what you do.
You're getting zero.
You're an individual. Your best source of money, guess what? Is going to be your job. That's it. That's your job. You need to, if you're only making enough to scrape by on, if you're working in a place to where all you can do is pay rent, put food on the table, pay utilities, pay all the essentials, and you have nothing left over, you need to start thinking about finding a different line of work.
Yes.
Plain and fucking simple.
100%.
That's fucking step one. Step two.
Or you're spending too much and you're not living below your means. You're saying bare minimum, like food necessities.
If all you're doing, you need to start possibly looking at a different source of income, because the income's the most important part of this whole thing.
Continue.
So then you need to get out of debt. Because that is a negative investment. It's like making money is one thing and just having money and paying bills is one thing. And investing is really good because investing will give you money over a long period of time. If you're in debt, that's a negative investment.
It's actually taking money.
Taking money away from you. So you need to get out of debt. That's the next thing you need to fucking do. Once you are completely debt free, you're not paying some fucking ultra rich motherfucker to where it's just numbers in a fucking computer, getting him his fucking new yacht somewhere where he can get his fucking dick sucked by some fucking Brazilian fucking broad, and you're sitting back fucking trying to make ends meet because you fucking needed that car that's fucking top of the fucking line and shit, that somebody convinced you had to have, walking into a car dealership because of that shit. You need to fucking get out of that shit. You need to owe no one money. And then after you've done that, you need to start making informative decisions on where your money gets put into, not into just a savings account at a bank.
What is a savings account at a bank? Like basic. You have a savings account. You have CDs.
It's FDIC. It's FDIC insured. So
$250,000.
I thought it was $500,000.
It's $250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
So
used to be
everybody's
$150,000
safe,
and they moved it up to $250,000.
So I mean, literally, it's like your money is entirely safe, but you get pennies. It doesn't meet up with inflation. Okay, I'm going to say this right here.
It's actually losing money based on inflation.
If you have a $100 bill and you put it underneath your bed, in your closet, in a sock, wherever you hide it, that over a 5-year period, if it does not make at least 4.2% added on to that, you have now lost money because of inflation. Because
so it'd be worth $95
you've now lost money
in 5 years.
You've now lost money off that $100 bill just being stuffed in a pillowcase, stuffed under your bed, wherever you put it. It has lost money because things slowly over time cost more and more. So you need something that at least matches inflation, which is 4.2% every 5 years.
So if you were to put it into a bank, that $100, it wouldn't gain nothing.
No,
it would be
minimal.
worth a little bit more.
No, it would lose.
Okay,
it's lower than inflation.
You lose money.
Okay,
you lose money at being in a bank in a savings account.
Where do you put that $100? Where do you start?
The safest bet, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I mean you need to do this research for yourself. I don't want anybody pissed off at me if all of a sudden the S&P fucking drops fucking 50 points tomorrow because they put, which won't even fucking happen. But okay, if you look at the stock market has grown 8% on average every year since its conception, all the way to 2019. It is 8%. You can buy stock options in an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund, which tracks 500 of the top companies: Coca-Cola, Apple. I might be.
GM, Microsoft, Ford.
Companies that are not going away. This is super safe, and it's going to give you 8% each year on the money you put into it. Now, that is definitely matching inflation, but you know what it's also doing? It's giving you money. Just from having your money somewhere is giving you money. Now, this is not spendable money. This is just money that you have invested into a company, which now technically you have part ownership of, because you own a fraction of the company, which is what a stock is. Just in case anybody doesn't know what a stock is you are buying a portion of a company.
But you can pull that out at any time.
You can sell it at any time.
It's not.
Sorry.
But you shouldn't.
Okay.
Right.
It is not as liquid. See, this is the problem with it. If you have money in a bank account, you can obviously get that money out. If you have, especially in a debit account or a savings account, you can fucking pull that money out whenever you want. With a stock market going through a brokerage, it's a little bit more difficult. Your money's not as liquid. Like in the same way that you have money invested into your house, how can you pull money out of this house?
You can't.
You'd have to sell the house, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That is possibly the most non-liquid investment that anyone ever has, is in real estate, because you have to go through the process of selling a house, which is extremely difficult. And if you're in a pinch to sell a house, chances are you're losing money. Nobody ever fucking makes money whenever they're in a pinch trying to sell a fucking house. But outside of that, it is a slightly less liquid way with a slightly higher risk, because you never know what the market's going to do. But if you just are going to leave it in there for 20 years, all you're going to do is fucking make money. That's all it's ever done since its conception. You're going to make 8% on your money every year. And that's going to be compounding fucking interest. So if you're young, and no 50-year-old should be discouraged from investing, because you need to invest. If you've never invested before and you're 50 years old, you need to start doing it right now. But if you're our age, everybody here is, we're pretty much like late 20s, 30s.
30
right
or
here.
less, yeah.
Dude, if you're in this age bracket, somewhere around here, if you just put some fucking money away and you start getting some compounding interest and you fucking get out of debt, you will have so much goddamn money. It's that. I know.
And it's also, the stock market's not that complicated. Well, okay, that's a lie. The stock market's super complicated. What I mean, though, is it's not. I remember way back in the day, like 7 years ago, I wanted to like look into investing in stocks and stuff, and I was like, where the fuck do I begin? How the fuck do I do this? With today's technology, it's super easy. Go through Robinhood, go through fucking E-Trade, go through something like that, a brokerage, basically, some kind of brokerage. If there's different, look them all up. Don't just join one right away. There are different pros and cons.
If you're paying I go through a non-fee brokerage. If you're going to go through a fee brokerage, you need to make sure that you are just putting money away each week up until you have built up, like if it's a $5 per trade, you need to build up like at least like $500, between $500 and $1,000 before you buy a stock, because you don't want to spend $5 to purchase a $35 stock.
Yeah, that's a huge percentage there.
You lost money there. So whenever you go through a brokerage, and there are benefits to, I'm not going to go down that road entirely, but if you're going to go through a fee brokerage, you need to make sure that you build up enough money to where that $5 doesn't look, that $5 fee doesn't look like that, or that $10 fee doesn't look too harsh on the amount of investing that you're bringing into it. And you got to also make sure that it doesn't cost money to sell it either. But
honestly,
within the brokerage.
Honestly, still feel like before getting into, we moved real fast into stocks and all that stuff.
Yeah,
honestly, going back to what I said at the beginning, the basics of it, the very, very fucking basics, is spend less than what you make. And if you don't make enough, get a better job. And I don't mean a lot of people make enough, they just spend too much kind of thing. I'm talking about what Jesse's talking about earlier, where if every dollar you have is going to the necessities and only the necessities, like food and shelter and whatever you need to actually do your job, like travel to work and stuff like that.
And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that.
If you're living like that, then your first thing is income. You have to have a better income. That's the first step. But once you reach the point to where and I'm not talking crazy amounts where you got to be making $100,000 a year or nothing like this. Whatever, everybody's at their own different stage. But if you've got the point where you can get your bare necessities out of the way, and you've got extra money to go to the theater and spend fucking $50 on date night at the theater, plus another fucking $50 at a restaurant later or some shit the same night. Like if you've got to that point, start knocking those things out a little, slim down on those, take that money, save it, and just put that away for, a while. Build that up over a year. There's something addicting about it. Honestly, saving money at first fucking sucks. But after you've done it for like a year, and then all of a sudden you look and you're like, oh shit, I saved $10,000 this year. I got $10,000 in my bank account, and I've never done that before in my life. Like, there's something about that that's just really...
And that's literal saving. That's not,
that's
spending,
not even
that's
investing.
not spending money and then it costs less because it would have been this amount. Our society has this weird, coming back to this, save $5 by buying this.
You're still spending.
That is an illusion. You are still spending money. Saving money.
The biggest con ever is the buy two, get one free. Buy two, get one free. Here's the thing. Let's say you go in somewhere to buy vintage stock. You go in to buy a movie, and you specifically know that for whatever fucking reason, when you go in there, you want to buy fucking Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift on Blu-ray. That's why you went to fucking vintage stock. That's the movie you want to buy. You go in there and they have got a buy two, get one free. So you're like, oh shit, I guess I'll also pick up, I don't know, the fucking Notebook for whatever reason. I want Fast and Furious and the Notebook. But I didn't originally go in there for the Notebook, and now I got a third movie as well. You only went in there for the one thing. You could have spent $5 on the one movie. Now you've just spent $10. Yeah, you got 3 movies, but did you need the other 2? Is that why you went in there? No, you didn't save any money. You literally doubled the amount that you spent. Don't worry about the product you're getting back. You doubled what you were originally going to spend. That's not a fucking deal. That's literally... That's advertising. That's capitalism.
The ultra-rich have been taking advantage of the middle class for so long in so many fucking ways. Being in debt is one of them, and then little schemes like this is one of them.
That goes back to the frequent flyer miles and get 3% back and everything. You're like, oh shit, I get 5% back on fucking gas. Gas is a bad example actually because everybody uses gas, but I get 5% back on whatever. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna go. Fuck it, I'm going to buy all those new clothes, and I'm going to buy the brand names and all this different shit and blah, blah, because I'm getting 5% of the money back anyways. Yeah, so you just spent 95% that you weren't going to fucking spend.
It's true.
Or 60%. Maybe you needed new clothes. You could have spent on other stuff, though, that doesn't get the 5% cash back, doesn't fit that fucking category.
Right.
But it cost you way less in the first place.
No, that all makes sense. And the only time I would ever, and I have plenty of credit cards, and I'll be honest, I have 0 debt, so that's good.
There you go.
I mean, well, I don't have 0. I have debt on my house and, my vehicle. Yeah, and my vehicle.
Well, that's debt.
But no, the
house one's a little different. The house one is a little different.
For sure.
The truck, on the other hand, that's just debt.
And I look at this in a different way than you guys do, but at the same time, what you guys say makes sense. And I think for a lot of young people out there who are good at saving money, and they do have a lot of money saved in their bank accounts, and they have no idea what to do with it except the fact that they, after a year, go by and look and see, hey man, I got like $10,000 or $20,000 in my bank account, and they're like 18 or 19 years old, and those people exist. They should be doing something else with their money. They should be putting it in other places to make them more money in the future. And those are the things that our education system and our government don't teach us. And if they were to listen to this podcast and understand what an ETF is or an S&P or whatever all that stuff is, which I have no idea about until I talk to you guys about it, and I still don't know shit about it, those are the things that those people need to know, because if they take that 10 to 20K, they can make a lot of money, I think.
It's empowering to have the feeling that you're in control of your financial future, and there is this goal in the end. Like it's also about goal setting too. Like how much do I want to put away this week? oh, I'm not going to go out where I normally do, but this money will, $50 I would have spent going here, I'm going to make that sacrifice. But that $50 is going to be a lot in 5 to 10 years or, maybe even 20 plus longer and kind of things.
And one thing that I would argue, or not even argue, but to the fact that if you start now, and I'm in my 30s,
dude, everyone can be millionaires.
Exactly.
Everyone can be millionaires. Right. We don't have to be in a financial prison because of these elites.
Right, but I have to wait a very long time to be a millionaire, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. When I'm 70, am I going to be able to do the things that I do now? Most likely not, unless I keep myself.
Unless you save.
Yeah, no. I'm saying physically.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
It's going to be a different situation. Yes, I can sit back, relax, and do what the things I want to do when I'm 70, but at the same time, I'm building wealth for my family.
There's a balance.
For your family.
For my family.
Your kids' kids. Like your kids won't have to worry about college.
Exactly.
Your kids won't have to go into debt to go to fucking college because of our fucking bullshit college system that we have right now.
So what would you say to someone who doesn't have any kids at all?
Then you have all financial potential right now.
But no. Because that's fine. But
as far as the future,
what's the point? What's the point in having $1 million if you have no kids or no family when you're 70 years old?
Because now you're able to do the absolute greatest thing that anybody can do. You can start influencing the world in your beliefs through giving money, funding organizations that you. Like, let's say you really fucking smart with money. You don't have any family, but by the time you're 50, you have $10 million and you already own your fucking house.
$10 million by the time you're 50?
Yeah, it's easy. That's easy.
That's easy.
Super easy. If you were to start at 18, you'd probably have closer to 20 right now. Like, if you're 18 right now and listening to this, it's very easy to have $20 million. You put 15% aside, you will have $20 million.
That's a little.
Depending on your income.
Yeah, that depends on your income.
Depending on your income. But and where you put your money at. There's a lot of 18% return ETFs and shit like that. But you're able to now, with your wisdom, decide, man, I don't like the way the world's going. You can now start changing the world because guess what's the fundamental thing that fucking changes the world is highly financed people. Guess what? There's people with a lot of fucking good moral views but are broke. Nobody listens to those people. They don't have a platform to listen to. Because it takes money to get there. This is just the game we're playing. You can be a good moral person with a lot of money and give money in the right scenario. Trust me, like being able to help somebody out, like even a homeless person on the street asks for some change, you feel good about yourself after giving a little bit of change. Can you imagine giving $10,000 to a children's organization for kids that need like clothes and basic hygienic supplies and shit to be able to go to school and shit?
Feel good, yeah.
No, you feel good that you have done good for the world. It's through finance that you're able to do these things.
For sure. That's fine.
It's the game that we're playing right now. And everybody, due to the capitalist nation that we live in, has this opportunity.
Capitalists.
But we have
disagree with that.
We have this
we're capitalism.
Very deceptive, ultra wealthy people that are sitting back and laughing because we live in a society of people who want more than what we bring in annually. Plain and simple. Everybody needs this.
Short term,
the fucking car. It's a fucking car.
Step one, spend less
guess
than
what?
You make.
It's a fucking car.
That's the thing. Like I've always thought.
And some humility comes in there too, and a lot of people's pride gets put into it to where, I'm this person, but I need this to, because I'm this is a representation. This is a representation of who I am, and this validates who I am, the items that I own.
We're all guilty of that. Everybody's got that.
100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you have to get over that at some point and just realize that that you can be fucking free. You can be free. You don't have to be tied down by these ultra fucking wealthy people that you're using their money and they're raping you in the back end because you're using their money and they're just sitting back fucking laughing about
I think they've developed a behavior for the middle class for sure, and we've all are guilty of that behavior.
Consume.
Yeah, consume. 100% consume, and especially when it comes to a house or a vehicle. Those are the two biggest price points when it comes to per month payments, and they really get you. They truly do, because once you get into that, and it's so far into debt, and your payments are so high, like you have no other option but to fucking give it. Half
of the people that I interact. Maybe a little bit less than half of the payments that I receive at my job, which is food, use a credit card. use a credit card to pay for their food. You're using borrowed money to pay for food. Quit doing that shit. Quit fucking doing that shit. I don't care if you pay that shit off every month.
So I want to go back to that. Unfortunately, that is the society we live in. Like the rich elite that you talk about have, like I said, and you guys disagree. So what do you say to someone like me in my position when I'm about to have a family and I need to get a house, and you're telling me that I should rent a house?
Yes, you should rent something cheaper and smaller. That this isn't directed at you. I'm directing it at someone. Like, this isn't a specific, hey, Paul. This is, you're asking, okay. So in theory, if you were in that situation, you should spend not very much at all. You should have a $2,000 car that gets you to work and gets you back. It doesn't have to look good on the road. It can have fucking dents in the fucking bumper. The bumper can be hanging halfway off. Yeah, it's a shitty social status symbol, but nobody gives a shit anyways. Nobody cares. You might get a compliment like, "Oh man, that's a nice car. That's a nice truck." When we've owned nice things, that happens once in a while. Nobody actually gives a shit though. Drive the fucking $2,000 car that works just fine. Save all your. That means that your car payments, if you're paying $600 a month in car payments, that's $600 a month now going into savings for a fucking house. If you're not buying a house and you don't have a ridiculous mortgage and you're able to rent a place that's roughly $800 a month, that's only 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom for you, 1 bathroom that you all share, and then the other bedroom for your fucking kids, you do that, you get it done. You go down and put quarters in the goddamn laundry machine because you don't have a laundry room. You deal with that shit, and it sucks. And it's like, man, I feel like a piece of shit. This is awful. And you're going to do that for a while. You're going to do that for like 5, 6, 7 years, which sounds like a long fucking time. But then what happens is in 7 years, when you can buy a fucking house with basically almost all the cash up front, your credit score does not fucking matter if you're able to put over fucking 50% down.
They don't give a shit. They're giving you that house. They want
covered.
that $50,000. They want that $75,000. They're not going to tell you no.
So you save that up, which it's, man, I know your income. You personally, I'm not going to talk about it here, obviously. I know, not to the T, I don't know exactly, but I have a rough guesstimate of what your income is. You could, in 5 years, save $50,000.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Easy, you could save. So you could probably save more, maybe. I don't know. It depends on your expenses. Maybe not now with a mortgage and a car payment and everything, but I'm saying if you didn't have all that, if you lived in a shitty fucking apartment, drove a shitty car, all this stuff.
You got to worry about the safety of your children, too. On his end, you're immediately like the safety of my family. You don't want to be in a bad part of town.
And take this all with a grain of salt because I'm not in this situation. I'm not in this situation.
There's
take
a lot of variables, but
for the most part, live well below your means, well under your fucking means. Do not get the nice stuff. Get the shitty stuff. It fucking sucks, and it's going to be the worst 5 years of your life. But then after that 5 years, how would it feel? Or 10 years. It'd be a shitty fucking 10 years. But how would it feel to then own the exact house you want, and all of your money doesn't go to mortgage or anything? All your money,
you're not giving any fucking.
And you got no credit score. You don't have credit cards. You're not
time money.
You literally got money saved up to just buy your fucking car with cash.
Yeah.
No payments.
Yeah, that's true.
No percentage. You're fucking
golden.
And then all your extra money that was going to fucking payments was going to fucking mortgage, house payments. Savings. It's just going into savings.
Yeah.
So that in another 10 years, you've got fucking, instead of 50,000 saved up, you now have 80,000.
Right. And this is just,
realistically way more because of the percentage gains. But
this is just basic. Like, I mean, that's the basic bare minimum. And at the same time, you're still
I think at the end, it still goes back to spend less than you make. Spend less than what you make.
That's the step one.
But as you're doing all those things you just described, you're still putting money into the stock market, and then you have high risk, and you're still making money on top of what you're doing with the house and the car.
Yeah, no, because the money you're saving for the house isn't just sitting there losing value because you don't have it in a savings account. You have it in an ETF, a mutual fund, the S&P 500, something like that.
You spread it out. You spread it out. You don't put it all into one thing.
I mean, I don't want to get too much into. I don't want to get so technical that we're talking about diversification and all this different.
You do. You don't put all your money into one thing.
It's not like you put all your money into Coca-Cola. That's a dumb fucking idea.
And honestly, this is where a lot of people went wrong. And I can go back to 2008 on this. Whenever what almost crashed the fucking economy, everybody fucking knows this, was people were buying houses on a non-fixed rate mortgage, thinking that, oh, my mortgage isn't going to go any fucking higher at a fucking like 1.5% whatever APR that they were fucking buying
No,
it
it's
at.
skyrocketed because it was an
It's
adjustable
skyrocketed,
rate.
and then all of a sudden people can't afford their fucking houses anymore. They were buying shit that they couldn't afford. Like plain and fucking, you cannot do that shit. Do not buy shit you can't
crazy
afford.
is it's funny that we blame, which banks are a little bit to blame for the housing crisis, obviously.
Oh yeah. No, they're
Hold on.
and the government. No, the government.
They're
The
to blame.
government and the
They're to
fucking
blame
banks.
because they let out the loans. At the same time,
Guess
though,
who made money in the end?
at the same time, though,
The banks and the fucking government. And who paid for it?
We did.
The middle class.
Hey,
Yeah.
at the same time, though,
That's what always happens
Don't-
because we fucking play the.
don't take out the loan. We blame the banks. And they should take the blame. The government and the banks should take the blame for the fucking 2008
We paid
housing
for it.
crisis. Here's the thing, though. Don't fucking take out the loans in the first place. Don't take out the goddamn loan, and then there's no problem.
It's true.
We blame the banks
really
for
true.
giving out the loans. Don't walk into the bank and ask for a loan. If you have to take a loan out, that means you can't afford what you're buying.
They've got us where they want us, you know. I mean, luckily there are 3 people sitting in this room right now.
If you're,
who are
and
semi-awake.
this is real simple right here, but if you're someone who's like, man, I can't eat best choice mac and cheese, I can only eat Kraft mac and cheese, that's step 1 right there, is knock that shit out.
Yeah, because over time it builds up.
Yeah,
Over a year,
tiny
it
little
builds
stuff
up.
like that people
Yeah.
don't fucking think about. That's fine if
You
you
wanna
got
see-
money. I'm talking if you're poor. I'm talking if you're in debt, no savings,
So
on and so forth.
So many people are more than willing to take out a credit card with a 24% fucking interest rate on it and be perfectly fine with it. But the second I talk about, put money into the S&P fucking 500 with an 8% return.
No,
man. No, the stock market. No, the stock market's fucking sketchy. Stock market could crash, man. All my money's going to go away. All my money's going to go away.
Every
Jesse,
crash the stock
fucking
market's
idiots.
ever had,
Bounce back.
Learn some shit.
Yeah, no,
learn some
3
shit.
months. 3 months it
Take
comes back.
advantage of the scenario.
Jesse.
Quit being a slave to this
Jesse.
fucking financial shit.
How many years since its conception has risen 8%?
Every year.
What is it called?
The S&P 500, which is
hold on. The stock market or the S&P 500?
the S&P 500.
8%
It's
since
a cap weighted.
conception.
It's a cap weighted.
It's not 8% every year. It's 8% average
Average.
overall. So like one year it
Overall.
may go up 1%. 1 year it may go down 7%.
But you're not touching that money.
But since its conception,
Average of 8% every year. And don't get,
Average of 8% every year over.
So-
and people, when he says 8%, he's talking long term, 30, 40 years.
yes.
well, no, not 8% over 30 years. 8% per year.
Right,
So
right,
like
right.
it goes
But
down
over-
7%
but
1
over-
year.
but over
next
30
year it goes
years.
up 16%.
But you're talking long term.
Which is not even that drastic. It's never
I know,
been
I'm-
that
I'm-
drastic.
I'm saying on
it's
a-
never been, and it's never not made money.
But
by the
don't-
way, guess what? The stock market, which is a representation. Okay, the S&P 500 is literally a representation of the United States economy. What is everyone using right now? What do you buy toilet paper with? Kimberly-Clark is fucking toilet paper and paper products. You have Coca-Cola, which is the Diet Coke you fucking buy every day.
And it's not just
These are the
Coke, it's
companies that
water
you're buying
and
into.
a whole bunch of stuff.
It's water. It's fucking everything. It's fucking even real estate's fucking packaged in there somewhere within the S&P 500. Geico, fucking insurance companies, all of this. You're buying into fractions of companies within the S&P 500, which is the top grossing 500 companies in America, which is a massive amount of money that you are putting money into that is only going to gain you 8% of whatever you put into over a long period of time. If you let it sit there, it's compounded interest. If you do enough, if you put 15% of your income aside and put it into just something that just tracks the U.S. economy, I'm going to quit saying the S&P 500. If you put money into the U.S. economy, basically, if you think that, oh, I'm scared, man, the stock market's scary. If the U.S. economy fucking goes away, nobody's worried about money anymore. Because now you need a fucking gun. Now you need to have a whole bunch of fucking canned food. Now you need to be able to protect your family because that's the fucking apocalypse and it's literally the downfall of the USA.
That's the best way. If you lose money in the S&P 500, the only way you're going to do that is if, like you said, the entire
Not
American
within a year.
economy.
Not within a year.
No.
Geopolitical fucking shit happens all the time where the S&P fucking drops. But you
No,
don't
overall,
lose money.
like 50 years from now, if you're at a net loss in the S&P 500, that's basically impossible. The only way it would be possible is if our entire economy crashed and you're now, the dollar you have in your pocket isn't worth shit. People will shoot you for the water and the gas in your gas tank.
yeah, and money's no longer a thing.
I think what
Quit.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Real quick. Quit getting over this shit to where you're more than willing to get a fucking credit card with a 24% fucking APR, whatever the fuck it's called, but you're scared to fucking put money in the stock market because, oh, the stock market's fucking scary. The stock market is not scary. They want you to think it's scary. They don't want people like me and you to invest in it. They don't want this. They do not want this. They want us to be in debt. We need to start fighting back as the common man and bring some shit back to us. We have every availability within the capitalist society that we live in.
Hold on. I got one question to that. So let's say the S&P's up big, right? Up real big. Let's say someone let's say someone puts like 50 million into it. A real rich guy, right?
Which is nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
That's a drop.
Okay, let's say someone puts 100 million into it.
Look up the market cap on the S&P 500 real quick.
Let's say someone puts some big money into it and draws everyone into that. And then people put their money in, then they take all the money out.
Does nothing.
Won't happen.
Nothing.
It happens all the time.
No.
Does nothing.
You're right.
to
Like the Great Depression
500.
and stuff. And that shit lasts for 3 months, and then it goes right back to where it was.
Geopolitical events.
Here's the thing that real quick before you say this.
So you're saying if everyone,
No. Here's the thing.
Hold on. If everyone was to put money in, and let's say fucking 100 million people in America just watch this fucking podcast, and everyone goes and puts money in the S&P, and some rich people realize that, and then they put even more money into it, and it draws even more money into it, and then they just fucking just take so much money out.
It does. It would fluctuate it down.
Yeah.
But the problem, okay, this is what people don't understand, is if you own stock in a company and it goes down, you haven't lost any money.
That's what I was just getting at.
You don't lose money yet. You only lose money whenever you sell it. You sell it at the price that it's worth because you own portions of companies.
If you look at
companies fluctuate.
If you put in $1,000 and all of a sudden the next day it has a fucking, you're like, what the fuck? Why did this company drop 25%? And now out of your $1,000 you've only got $750. If you get scared and you fucking sell, that means you just lost $250.
That's when you lose your money.
If you wait 3 fucking months, it'll be back up to $1,050. Congrats, you just made $50.
You just made $50.
So just wait, everyone. Wait.
You only lose money when you sell your investment. You're owning portions of companies.
So at first it may hurt. It may hurt big time.
It won't actually hurt. It doesn't hurt because that money's not real. You've already put it in savings.
Right.
Don't look at it like money. It's ownership in companies that you're buying into. Companies fluctuate all the time. Companies have down. I mean, you look at a company that's lasted 200 years that you invest into, right? And then the next day, wow, I'm down fucking 2%. If you sell that shit, you're a dumbass. You probably shouldn't be playing the stock market. You need to watch some more videos on YouTube, and you need to do a little bit more research because that's not how this shit works. It's long-term fucking investments. Nobody should be getting into the stock market for investments for a week. Nobody should be getting investments in the stock market for even a year. You need to be getting into the stock market for a 5+ year investment. Like, basic. I'm not talking about options. I know you about options, but I'm not about options.
No, I won't even touch that tonight. That's ridiculous.
That's for a separate thing. I'm talking long-term. You are going to make money off the money, and you will beat out inflation. You will beat out inflation. You do not need a financial advisor to sit down and fucking tell you this. You can do basic research. If you can read, you can find this out in about like 15 minutes on the fucking internet, like how this fucking shit works. But nobody fucking does it. Nobody fucking does it.
Okay, when you break it down to the most basic form of what we're talking about, no one's taught this in any way, shape, or form.
Nobody.
No one. So
they want you to know.
No, exactly. So anyone who listens to this podcast, and it may be anywhere from 20 to maybe 70 people, and I don't know based on the tag if anyone else listens to it, even if it's 100 or 200.
You get real into the numbers of how many people listen. You talk about it every time like
I'm sorry.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Whoever listens, right? It ultimately comes down to the fact that we have to go out and we have to find our way when it comes to financial gain, long term or even short term, right? And what Jesse and Johnny have provided us today, and I understand a lot of it, and a lot of it makes sense to me, like to live a life, not live a life beyond your means. Like we all make those impulsive buys and all that shit, and then, a week later or even a year later, you're thought about in the back of your head when you're about to go to sleep, like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that,
We've all done that.
Yeah, we've all done that. But what I'm saying, okay, I think I'm dragging on here, and I'm sorry. I think it makes sense what you guys are saying. Take money and invest it.
It's hard to do.
It is, because you know what? Every paycheck I take, or every paycheck I get $100. I put it into savings. You know what? instead of putting it into savings, I need to start putting it into the stock market, because long term that makes more sense than putting it into a bank that makes me absolutely no money whatsoever.
They give you pennies.
Yes, pennies. And anyone,
you should still have
fraction.
You
hold
should
on,
still
fraction
have
of
a bank account with a
sure.
savings.
Exactly.
You need a safety net.
Right.
You need liquid cash.
Yes, you need a safety net, and thank you, Johnny, for saying that. Yeah, you do need a safety net, and for sure. But at the same time, if you're going to save money, and that makes the most absolute sense, and for some reason it took me till I was 30 years old to realize that I need to save money.
I'm 28. I really didn't start doing it till not that long ago.
Right. But
I started saving at 25.
Save money. But at the same time, look into stocks, understand what it is. You don't have to do what Jesse said or what Johnny said. Look into it. Like what Johnny said, look at different apps and find what makes more sense to you. Start investing money. Start making money. Make money for you.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And it took me to be 30 years old to realize what that meant.
To think that all of these multi-millionaires that are sitting back and laughing right now, taking advantage of people, they use the same thing. They use the same thing, and they manipulate people to buy their fucking product at a higher cost than what it's actually fucking worth. Quit playing their fucking game. Start fucking making money work for you.
And get rid of all your credit cards.
Yeah.
Get rid of all seriously, you don't need. And if you're like, man, I have $3,000 though I have a $3,000 limit on this credit card. I never use it. I never fucking use it. It's an emergency. No, fuck that. Take $3,000, get that saved up, put it in a savings account. Boom, there's your fucking emergency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because
and then don't touch it. Don't touch that fucking money. Don't fucking be like,
that's for car breaks down, fucking illness, hospital, fucking shit. If you don't have fucking health insurance,
don't be like, damn, I got $3,000 in savings. I could go buy a fucking new PlayStation right now. No.
Because we run by these rules in capitalist America, and you can argue capitalism is not good or whatever, but I'm sorry, this is what it is. And you have to adapt to this shit. Adapt to the environment that you're in, which is a capitalist American society that we live in, and it's giving you a great opportunity to have a shit ton of money in the end. If simply you do not spend everything you fucking have on shit you don't need, that's like some goddamn Fight Club shit.
Yeah.
You're buying shit you don't need. It looks cool and you're excited about it for about an hour, and then you acclimate to it. And then once you're acclimated to it, it's not exciting anymore. But now you've gone into debt for something that now you're just acclimated to, and now it's just like any other thing you would fucking have. Yeah. Quit doing that shit. At some point, you wouldn't have enough money to where your kids don't have to fucking worry about college. You fucking don't have to worry about anything that life's going to throw at you, because life will throw you some fucking shit, and you're ready for that shit because you know how fucking life works, that life will throw you a fucking curveball. You're going to have to deal with some trials and tribulations, but you're financially prepared for that. And then guess what? You're able to start giving to fucking organizations that you care about.
And then that's what Jesse would do with his money. And anyone who's listening to this who likes to have a good time and go out and have fun with their friends, go on vacations and do all this shit, all that stuff is still allowed. You're able to still do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's allowed. Not if you're in debt. You get out of debt and you get some savings.
No. I'm talking about what you guys are talking about. If you take the path that you guys are talking about, Jesse's been my friend for a very long time, and I know that you're really good at saving money. You really are. You truly, other than a coworker at work, who's 18. I'm not going to say his name. Michael. Michael's really good at saving money.
I'm not going to say his name. It's Michael.
His name. I just wanted to say
his name was Michael.
Yeah.
He is.
But anyways,
he blew my mind financially whenever he talked about
Jesse
what he had.
Jesse's
very good for him.
And Jesse just started recently doing this, and recently could be the past year. But Jesse goes on vacation, or he's been to places, and you could go to places. He goes out, enjoys himself, drinks, does what he wants to do. You can still do all those things. You can still have fun. But you have to understand...
If you're in a place where you're debt-free like me.
Exactly.
Because I'm debt-free too.
Exactly. And even if you're trying to take steps to be debt-free, you can still do those things. It's not like you have to go home and do absolutely nothing. Hold on. You can buy a pint of vodka for $5. You can,
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
No. You can't just... buckle down for 5 years.
It all depends on your debt level, man. Yeah. It all depends on your debt level.
You know what? Fuck it. Life's too short. You need to have fun. What I'm saying is, if you can do it at different rates and different paces.
Be careful with that mentality. Now I'm gonna argue that a little bit and be careful with that mentality.
Life's too short.
No. I agree with life's too short to have fun and all that. But think about this. What if right now you were like, man, if only when I was born my parents were millionaires. How about the fact that you can literally give your kids that? Yeah. You can give your kids the fact that you've got $4 million when they're born.
For sure.
Or not when they're born. When, I'll say your kids' kids. Because realistically, you're not going to have the $4 million when your kids are born. But when your kids' kids are born, you could have that. You're setting up, now you're becoming that top percent. You're fucking setting up your fucking family's generations upon generations of just like success and wealth in one lifetime, in just your lifetime. Still have fun. Yes, I agree. Still have fun. Have a good time. Because I thought the same thing. Like, why the fuck would I want $1 million when I'm 70 when like I can't do as much as I can now? You should still have fun, but it is worth. Yeah, it's hard fucking work, but it's worth buckling down for 3 fucking years and not having any goddamn fun. And it sucks. It really fucking sucks. But do it and get it over with, and then you're fucking golden.
Golden.
When you have no
massive
debt,
returns on your money.
I'm to the point where you can still have fun no matter what.
You can have fun and enjoy life, but you can have fun and enjoy life without spending a fucking dollar.
It's true. Hey,
go outside, take your dog on a walk.
There's so
fuck
go
the
to
shit
the
out of your
fucking Nelson Atkins Museum. It's free. Go fucking
go do that. You don't have to spend fucking $1,000 to fucking go have fun on a fucking vacation, especially when you have fucking mortgage, car payment, student loans, fucking $10,000 in credit card debt. You should not be going on vacations. You shouldn't be going on vacations. You're a slave to the fucking system. You just saved up a shit ton of money to fucking go out and fucking do something when all you have is incurring interest in people sitting back laughing, going on their fucking vacation off fucking your money.
If you don't pay off
your money.
If you go to a vacation instead of paying off debt, that vacation is actually costing you a percentage more than what it cost you. If you're like, I can afford $1,000 vacation.
Got to get ahead of this.
It costs you more than $1,000 because the amount of debt that's accumulating.
Our society has separated so much from the fucking 1%. And I'm sorry, they have so much momentum now, so much influence, so much momentum. But we still have the availability as middle class individuals to make a lot of money and influence the world. But we allow them to have this. Oh man, you gotta have this, gotta have this, gotta have this fucking credit card. Man, you get miles on this. Oh man, you get cash back on this.
I'll never own a credit card again for the rest of my life.
Quit being a slave to fucking J.P. Morgan. Quit being a slave to your fucking lender. You're a slave. You're a fucking slave to it. Quit doing that. Be free. Pay it off. Get over it and start making money. Because you can do that. You can have ownership in companies. You can have ownership in companies. You can have your house paid off. You can pay for so much shit. You can give. You can help people out when they need help. Because the government won't do it. J.P. Morgan won't help out society. It's us that has to do it. It's the middle class that has to do it. And we have to take advantage of this shit through capitalism to do it. I know it's what ended up being the slave to it, but we can be smarter than this. We can overcome all this in the end, and we can start taking back over if we're smart enough about it. We got to be a little humble in the beginning, though. We can do this shit as individuals. I truly believe in it, but we got to be smarter about it. Do some fucking research with some shit.
It's true.
Pull out a goddamn calculator. If you haven't pulled out a fucking calculator and done a simple budget, just like off the top of your head kind of shit, you need to do that. You need to fucking do it. We need to get this shit together because we're the people that are running this country, and we're letting the 1% fucking run us way too much financially and putting us in a goddamn cage. It's time to get over that shit.
Boom. Mind blown. That's at an hour and 7 minutes. I know that's a little different than what we're used to doing on Talk Junkies, but let us know what you guys think, man. Like I said, Jesse and Johnny have been doing a lot of this shit for the past... I don't know how long you guys been investing your time into and doing this, but they put a lot of time into it. So I know this is different from what we've done podcast-wise, but you know what? I think we needed to do it. I think that was a solid podcast. I think financially we all are going to make our own mistakes and shit like that, but it's not bad to have a second opinion or hear other people's ideas when it comes to financials. And
never feel like it's like if you're older or you're super in debt, never feel like you're too much in debt or it's too late. You can look up some Dave Ramsey stuff because that's where a lot of this comes from. I'm not going to pretend I'm not going to fucking plagiarize his shit. Like this is like credit to Dave Ramsey, credit to some other, I can't remember his name. There's some other financial expert we've been looking at, all this different stuff. But, credit where credit's due. They've got this shit down.
They know.
They know what's up. Look into this some stuff though. There's like legit stories of people who fucking they only make fucking $40,000 a year. They're $300,000 in debt from student fucking loans, and they come back and pay that all off and have zero debt and start saving money in the course of 4 years by living well below their means, by not fucking spending so much money on shit they don't need, by doing the shit that nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to drive around a $2,000 car. Nobody's like, man, I really want to drive around a busted up, broken, fucked up car. Nobody wants to do it. But goddamn, if you do it for just 3-4 years, you have no car payment. That's an extra fucking $500 in your pocket, $300 in your pocket every fucking month.
And people don't look at it like
you
that.
You get a place, a shitty fucking apartment. Like instead of buying that, or instead of renting that $1,200 apartment with the super nice shower and the fucking extra room that you want to use as office space, whatever the fuck it is you're doing, get the one that's only $800. Boom, that's an extra $400 in your pocket every month. That shit adds up quick.
Quit letting the 1% take advantage of you. We need to be over this.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for the podcast, man. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, most importantly. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Again, we do have some guests coming on in the next few weeks, so look forward to that.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that.
Me too, and that's going to be some good stuff. And Jesse's actually talked to a gentleman who's going to take over all of our social media. And I know we haven't talked about it, but I'm completely down with it. I think, what's his name?
Corey,
if you're listening, man, and Jesse says you listen to the podcast, we're completely down.
Shout out, Corey. I need to get in contact with you.
Yeah, we're definitely down with you taking over all our social media. And so look out for Talk Junkies on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And Facebook, even though we don't want to, but we're going to do it because we need to be.
You have to. You got to play the game.
We got to
play the game.
Got to play the game.
So to all our junkies out there, stay fly.
And ring the bell.
That was weird.
Man.
You
that
fucking.
Weird. You fucked it up, Paul. You fucked it up.